Hey everybody, welcome back to Finance Friday with your finance girl, Jaquila Ross. So today we are going to talk about interest. Okay, so title is So You Gotta Prove Now What? All right, so what is interest? Interest is essentially the cost of borrowing. It's the money, the additional money that the bank makes off of borrowing you some funds, whether it's a bank, a credit unit, a car dealership, or whomever. It's some type of financial institution that loans you money, and they're going to charge you interest in order to give you that loan. Or essentially, if you have a credit card, they will add interest on there possibly as well. So let's say that you're in you have a great credit score. Let's say your credit score is like over 700. Then you'll typically get lower interest rates, right? But let's say if you have a poor credit score, like less than a 600, then your interest rate essentially is going to be higher. So let's take, for example, that two people go out and they were looking at a car. Let's say the car costs about them $10,000, right? And let's say person A credit score is less than a 600, person B credit score is over 700. So person A, they more than likely can get approved, but they're going to be having a much higher interest rate. And let's say, just for example, that interest rate is going to be like 24%, okay? And typically a car loan is for about a 5-year loan. So let's say $10,000, okay? Car is the the cost of the car, and the interest rate 24%. That's $2,400 in interest per year that you're going to pay. That person A is going to pay. Take that and multiply it by 5 years. That's $12,000 of interest. Okay, so that's the $10,000 that you have to pay back, plus an additional $12,000. So to walk away with purchasing this $10,000 car, you essentially end up paying like $22,000 for this car, right? But let's say, but then, person B, who has the higher credit score, they're essentially going to, let's say their interest rate is going to be about 4%, right? Because the average interest rate on cars is about 4%. But again, that comes with essentially having good credit. They're going to pay about $400 in interest per year, which comes up to about $2,000 over the span of the 5 years, roughly. So person A, $22,000, person B, $12,000, right? So in other words, like I said, yeah, you get approved, but does it truly make sense for person A to purchase that car at that 24% interest rate? Okay. Now, obviously people are in situations where they're like, oh my God, I have to get a car. It doesn't matter how much it's going to be. Oh, the car note, seems reasonable. I can afford it every month. But can you truly afford it in the long run? Hey, in the long run, you end up paying an additional $12,000 on that vehicle versus person B with the better credit. They end up paying $12,000 in total for the vehicle. That's a $10,000 difference that essentially someone with not so great credit is going to pay on that same vehicle. So essentially, just because you get approved, does that truly mean that it's a good financial move for you? Okay, I would say no. In the long run, no. Here's the thing. A lot of people make impulse decisions, right? They essentially like, I have to get a car, or I have to get this loan, or whatever it may be, and they just go out on a limb and they, get approved, okay? Because a lot of people, JD Byrider and so many other people, they're like, oh, good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter, and no credit, you come get approved, right? That sounds good, but what happens is they're going to charge you so much money in interest that at the time, it doesn't, you're making this impulsive decision. At the time, it doesn't even seem like it's nothing because you can afford the car note, but in the long run, you come out of pocket so much more money. So, all right, so you're like, okay, now, so what then, finance girl? What am I supposed to do? What you need to do is essentially get your credit score in order, okay? Pull down that credit report. dispute things that if there's anything on there that doesn't look right, that you know is not a valid debt to you. If you have something collections, call them and make some type of payment arrangement with them. If you have a balance that's been outstanding for a very long time and you know it's just been sitting there, you've been ignoring it, call those folks up and negotiate with them. Okay, do what you have to do in order to, you know, get those things removed off your credit or pay those things off. Okay, because it truly is hurting you in the long run. You know, in our society, there's so much money that folks are paying in addition to whatever loan they may have out with these financial institutions, because they're paying the cost of borrowing, which is interest. Okay, so you have to think about, okay, how does this look in the long run? Okay, don't just look at it as a short-term fix and I'm gonna get it because I have to. But you don't have to. Figure out something else. All right, maybe get something, save up cash and buy something temporarily until you can improve your credit score in order to have a much lower interest rate, okay? Because you are truly paying the price. It may not feel like it at that moment, but in the long run, you're paying so much more money because of your credit score essentially is not that great. So again, just because you get approved, you have to think about the long run. Does it truly make sense? Is it truly a great financial move for me? With that $12,000, do you know that what that $10,000 difference, okay? Do you know what you can do with that? You can go purchase a startup home for $10,000 and fix it up over time and then essentially rent it out or flip it and make so much more money off of it. But instead, you're going to give up $10,000 to the bank? Does that truly make sense when you think about things in the long run? So, I say all that to say, don't make impulse decisions when it comes to, you know, needing the car, needing the loan. Truly think about, okay, does this make sense in the long run? Run the numbers. Run it by somebody else who's an expert in this. Your finance girl, Jaquila. And see, like, hey, does this really make sense for me in the long run? Okay. Stay away from payday loan stores, okay? I've talked about this so many times. And the reason why I bring up payday loan stores is because they are allowed to charge interest up to like over 100%. Some of them are like over 200%. So you go to the payday loan store because, you know, you may be in a financial bond or something like that. And then, you know, you take out this money like, oh, yeah, I'm going to pay it back over time. They're going to charge you so much more in interest to take out that $1,000 or that $2,000 or whatever the amount may be. Okay, so you have to think about in the long run, does this truly make sense? Stop making impulse decisions. Run the numbers to see how it truly is going to impact your finances over that span of the loan that you're taking out. All right. So this has been your finance girl, Jaquila Ross. If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to set up a personal or business consultation with me so that, you know, we can help you get on a better financial path in your life. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks.